Everyone, it's Spooky from ArmoredTalk.com, and we are currently in a Swingfire. This is gameplay immediately after the hotfix was applied to the North American server. As we covered on the blog, the hotfix caused the European servers to be delayed at first for an hour. They brought those up, and then there were issues, so they had to go ahead and cancel the European test on Thursday. The Armored Warfare team also applied the hotfix to the North American servers. This caused a considerable delay in getting the test started, but they did actually open up the test late last night, which turns out to be really good for everybody because I think that's what allowed them today to announce that this weekend would be another full weekend of 24-hour testing, both the North American and the European servers. As we talked about on the blog, the hotfix fixes a couple critical bugs that were impacting gameplay considerably. First and foremost was actually the reload bug, where people were able to swap between their reloads with certain perk skills and found that the reload time of their shots was drastically reduced. This has been fixed and confirmed as fixed to the North American server, so that's ready to go for this weekend's testing. The second bug that was addressed has to do with main battle tanks slowing down when turning at speed. We'll talk about that when we get to the Leopard gameplay here a little bit later on in the video. Right now I'm in a Swingfire, so let's go ahead and talk about the third bug the hotfix is supposed to address. This particular fix is not specifically for the Swingfire. It actually applied to any tank that's able to fire missiles. The problem was that while in third-person view or zoomed out, people were able to fire the missiles and guide those missiles into tanks without having a direct line of sight. That's not something that's realistic and not something that the developers had intended. So the hotfix was supposed to correct that issue. This isn't to say that when you're in a Swingfire or in some other tank like the Sheridan that has missiles to fire, that you still can't guide those missiles in the third-person view. You'll actually see me do that here in a couple of minutes. But what it does mean is you can no longer do that if your tank or vehicle does not have a direct line of sight to the enemy. That out in another game where I was trying to actually use it, and what happens is the missile just ends up going straight and you're not able to guide it. At least that was what my experience was. Something that has not been addressed, Swingfire, is the view range. Currently the view range is seen to be too great on this vehicle, and that will be in an upcoming nerf or patch, and I think this is actually close to the end of this game. I didn't get a chance to play a bunch last night with the servers coming up so late, but I did want to go ahead and get this video out just so you can see a little bit of the difference and talk about how the Swingfire can still shoot in third-person view, which is coming up here right before I die. So yep, right there. So you are able to still shoot while you're in third-person view, but I would not have been able to do that if I did not have direct line of sight. So sorry for dying so early in that game, but I was able to do some spotting damage, and even though we lost, well, I guess I came in second place, so it wasn't that bad of a game. Would have preferred it to be better, but the Swingfire is still a valuable tank to play or vehicle to play, and even after the view range nerf, I'm hoping that it will be something that is still enjoyable to drive. So the direct line of sight is now required in order to guide your missiles in third-person view, and I think that's what the original intention was, and it's a good thing that the developers went ahead and got that fixed. The ammo swap bug being corrected is probably more important to have in there, and I think that's probably the main reason they did a hotfix instead of waiting for the next patch. But it's good that they got the ATGM's line of sight bug corrected too. The other one is in main battle tanks, slowing down when the tank is in full motion or at full speed. This is not something that I actually really paid that much attention to when I was driving my main battle tanks. Something I did notice though is it's better to crash through gates like this versus the actual wall because it slows you down less. Bad habit of just driving through things and over things from World of Tanks, where the speed penalty was not nearly as great as what it is in Armored Warfare. You know, on World of Tanks, unless I was worried about be an end game where an artillery could be looking at an overhead view, or is trying to sneak up on somebody, I wasn't really too concerned about running over trees and poles and stuff of that nature. But in Armored Warfare, it really does hurt your speed doing those things, so I needed to start adjusting my playstyle. Back to the bug that the hotfix is supposed to address. Not sure I really ever noticed it as a bug, but the speed when you were turning in your main battle tank would drop just from your swishing back and forth. I'm not sure you're going to see it a ton in this game, but this is the only Leopard game that I did last night, and it just gives me an opportunity to talk about it, that this is a bug that was correct. And also, I wanted to jump back into Leopard real quick, because after doing our video on the Leopard way, in that we looked at 3 different video playstyles, the first game being shooting from long range, the second game being that we were working ourselves through town, and then the third game was leading a charge through the hills, I've found that the Leopard is probably one of the tanks that I do the best in. But after doing that video, I noticed on the forums there are quite a few people that dislike the Leopard. And I'm not really sure why. A lot of people are saying, oh, it has too thin of armor, and you have to play it only as a support tank, and you have to play it from long distance. And, that is where its strength lies, but that doesn't mean that's the only way that you can play the tank. I don't feel like I'm sitting back and sniping in this game, and I think I end up doing, 3,000 or 4,000 damage and 3 kills or so. So it's not something that I find is a problem in the Leopard. I'm able to play it sniping, I'm able to play it brawling, I'm able to play it just trying to flank. But one of the classes of tanks in Rototanks that I did not play as much as the other were the heavy tanks. So maybe my lack of relying on side scraping and playing a traditional brawling heavy tank is more of a benefit in Armored Warfare, where side scraping is not effective. But the main purpose of this video today was just to get some quick gameplay of the North American server after the hotfix was applied. The ammo reload bug has been fixed. I'm not going to demonstrate that for you because I never actually tried to use the reload bug to begin with. I'm not sure I had the appropriate crew skills even to have been able to test it or to confirm that it has been fixed. But if you jump on the forums, people are saying that it has definitely been fixed. That's a good thing. The Swingfire showed you that you can still fire missiles in the third-person view using the Swingfire, but you do need to have a line of sight now to do so. So that's also a good fix. And the Leopard and other main battle tanks have had the speed bleed bug fixed now as well. So this weekend you should be able to play all weekend long for 24 hours a day. Go ahead and go out there and conquer. I think that's all I have for you, other than if you just want to go ahead and continue watching this battle, you're more than welcome to do so. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like it, subscribe to our channel, check out the armoredtalk.com blog and website where we cover your Armored Warfare news and information. And thanks everyone, you have a good day.
Identified. Ammo up. Target lit up. Ammo up. Identified. Target eliminated. Identify target. Hostile tank. Identified. Hostile. Up. We're hit. Identify target. Hostile tank. Target destroyed. Target eliminated. Identified. Hostile tank. Identify target. Hostile tank.